Okay, I'm here with a super cool person. I've got to spend a little more time with this person, and I have one question for her. If you only had one word, what would be the one word you would choose about yourself? Welcome to another episode of Paris, Texas, a podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Lamar National Bank. I want to thank those guys so much for sponsoring this podcast, and let's get this started.
Party.
Is that because you're like the life of the party?
Absolutely, sure.
Okay, so I love that. We'll get to more about your business later, but I love that like you have a neon sign that like is inside your building, right? Mm-hmm. And yes. It literally says "Let's party."
Yes.
And that's like, it's like a motto for you, right?
Absolutely. We say it a lot. Yeah.
Is it like y'all are fixing to go out to a job and you're like, okay, girls, let's party?
Well, you know what? We don't get to be involved in a lot of the parties enough, but it's a nice little catchphrase. It makes us feel good to say it like we are a part of the party when we're really just there to make the party happen.
All right, Kacy Smyers, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited you're here.
I'm so excited too.
Okay, we start every podcast at the same place, the beginning. Where were you born?
Here in Paris.
Paris, Texas.
Yes.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Did you go to one school? Like
I did.
Which school?
Which one do you think? I don't know. Just guess.
North Lamar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why'd you guess North Lamar?
I don't know.
Yeah, North Lamar from kindergarten till graduation.
When did you graduate?
2004.
Okay, so we were close.
Yeah.
Do you remember me?
Do you remember me?
No.
I don't remember you either.
Good.
When did you graduate?
2000.
Probably? Okay, yeah.
So we're close enough that we should have been
friends.
No. Okay. I said this in a previous podcast. I was like not Broadway.
Okay, gotcha.
So my first name's Dustin. I don't usually admit that, but high school years I was a Dustin.
Okay.
After high school I became Broadway. And there's two very distinctions there. Okay. I was very shy. Mm-hmm. I was the guy that I didn't have a table. I don't know if your years were. Wait, no, were you in the new school? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. We had tables, and there was like the cheerleaders tables, and then the footballs tables, and then the band had like 7 tables because there's a lot of band people.
Band's huge, yes.
It's huge. I was like the guy that stood up by the gates that rolled down.
No.
Yep. By myself almost all the time.
If we were friends, if I'd have known you, I could have came over there and stood by you.
Hey,
yeah. Invited you to the table.
No. So I found myself after I left Paris, at least the Broadway that everybody knows, when I started traveling, I found more of who I am.
Wow. Well, that's great. That's hard for me to believe, though.
Oh, well.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. If you find someone that knows me from them, I'm willing to bet they will like admit to that. Okay. So what was your thing in school?
In school, I was all about sports and helping people party.
Okay, so wait a minute. So that was even a theme then.
Yeah.
Did you think that would be a career path for you?
Mm-hmm.
In high school, was your thought process that?
It was not my thought process, but growing up, my mom kind of instilled events into me because she loved having people over and everything. So in high school, I did not think that I would end up in the event industry, no.
But you threw parties in high school?
Yes, like responsible parties that a high school student would throw, yes.
Okay, good. Awesome. Yeah. Were you part of any of like the planning of school like functions like prom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, loved prom. Loved helping with prom, going to prom, still prominent up at Paris party. Yeah.
Okay, so what sports did you play?
You know what I played. I'm really tall, so
basketball.
Yeah, and volleyball.
And volleyball.
Yeah. Love those. I wasn't very good.
Okay, so I loved basketball growing up. I was terrible at it.
Right.
I think I got cut all the years that I tried out for it. Like
they wanted me to be so good because I was so tall. Where I was lacking is aggression. They're like, you got to be more aggressive. You got to get in there and steal the ball. And I'm like, oh, sorry. Yeah. So it wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you did did you have like a thought I'm going to graduate and I'm going to go off and do this?
So my senior year, I feel like my head was kind of all over the place because I had so many things I wanted to accomplish, so many things I wanted to do, and it was hard to narrow it down and decide which route I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Celebrate It was built my senior year.
The actual building?
The actual building. So that's when events really started happening for me. So I'd work there part-time for my dad part-time, and that's how I kind of got into events and started realizing that this might be more of a part of my path than what I realized.
Okay.
But at the same time, I thought I wanted to be a nurse.
Okay. So you're looking at graduation, you're thinking, it could be cool to be a nurse.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think so my mom went back to school at 40-something to become a nurse. And I think it was probably a few years after I graduated. I can't remember, but that's cool. And I remember when she went, this is probably the same time from you, nursing was, they needed them bad. There was a high demand for them at that time.
Absolutely.
Sure, there's a high demand now too,
right.
But like, I just remember there being like a big influx right around the time when I graduated of needs for nurses.
So there was, and it seems like there's always been a need in the medical field. So I was just thinking it was job security.
Yeah.
You know, and how cool would it be? And I still think it's so nice if you're a nurse and your kids are sick, you know exactly what to do and how to take care of them.
First call when kids are sick is GMA. My mom, she's a nurse. We're like, okay, GMA, what do we need to do?
I realized really quickly though that nursing wasn't for me when I shadowed a doctor, and I got to watch a procedure and I almost passed out. I almost hit the floor. It's like I got to go out to the hallway, and I just sat down. I was like, you know what? Events it is.
Bless them. They're good at what they do, but it might not be ideal for me.
No, so much respect, but the nursing world was not for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, all right, so you graduated, and what happened?
Just events.
So you went right into it. Really?
Yes.
Have you ever done anything else?
No, just little part-time gigs in high school whenever my parents made me have other jobs. But it's always been working for my mom and dad who own their own businesses, and teaching swim lessons in the summertime. I've done that since I was 18.
So I took I don't know, I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but I took 7 or 8 years of swim lessons growing up.
Yeah, you should.
And I was good.
Right.
When I was growing up, they didn't really have I don't remember, but from what my mom tells me, they didn't have a swim team, and they really should. That's really should have been doing.
Right.
But I did grow up, and I have in my very large amount of jobs that I've done in my lifetime, one of them was teach swim lessons.
Really? We have that in common. Yep. How cool.
Yep.
Who taught you how to swim?
I don't remember.
Did you go to somebody's house, or did you go to a
I think it was
facility?
It would have been Aerofit.
Okay.
Which is now Airfit.
Yeah, it is.
But it would have been the previous Aerofit that was where I swam growing up, and I did many lessons. I did one time of karate, and I was like,
I'm out.
Karate. I won't go swimming.
Oh, yeah. Swim is something I'm very passionate about. I wish I had more time to be more involved and teach more kids every summer. It's hard to swing both Paris Party and swim lessons, but I love it.
Where do you teach?
At our house.
At your house? Okay.
Yeah.
How many can you take?
Try to cap it at 50 kids per summer.
Really? And is it one-on-one, or do you do groups?
No, it's 1 to 3.
1 to 3. Awesome. That's got to be so much fun.
I love it. My kids love it too, because they're just out there. And there's constantly kids coming in. They're like, hey, what's up?
New friends.
Yeah.
They're going to know everybody.
But it's lots of fun. It's really gratifying whenever a scared swimmer comes in, terrified most of the time because something's happened, and then they leave there knowing how to swim. I've taught adults too.
I've taught a couple adults.
Really?
They're a little harder.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're set in their mind that it's the worst thing ever.
Right.
What's your favorite age to teach?
I'm going to say age 5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay. I've tried to teach my kids. I feel like your own kids are almost harder.
They absolutely are.
In all things to teach them.
I'm 1 for 3. Out of my 3 kids, I got one really strong, pretty swimmer, and the other 2, they just kind of do whatever they think is best.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that any of them are strong swimmers. My middle is the most. Well, this is on most things. He's more daring than us. Like, if you take your eyes off him long enough, when he was in swim lessons, when someone else was teaching him, you'll turn back and then he'll be running off and then diving into the pool, but he doesn't know how to swim.
Right.
And I'm like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing?
They don't, some of the kids, they don't realize the danger, even as they get older. And I've seen it click for them once they're swimming and jumping in the water, and then the next year realize how dangerous it is, and then they're scared to even get in the water
because they went too fast.
Yeah,
makes sense. Okay, awesome. Okay, Paris party. Has it always been Paris party, or was it just to celebrate it? Like, how did the evolution of that happen?
So Celebrate It started because my mom, like I said, was always wanting to do parties and events herself. Not necessarily for other people, but for everybody in our family and around us. And she got tired of renting the fairgrounds. So she was like, we're going to build our own building.
Okay.
So that's where that started. Paris Party didn't actually start until 2014.
Okay.
We were starting to lose some clients just because they didn't want to rent Celebrate It. And I still really wanted to work with them. So it's like, how can I still be a part of their wedding, their special event, if they don't want to rent Celebrate It? So
when they rented, did you do the party planning side for Celebrate It, or was it more just event venue?
Yes and no. It was a much smaller scale of what we do now. So there were some clients who would still come in and wanted us to hire vendors and such, but much smaller scale than what we do now.
Okay. So you expanded to Paris Party. Well, it was actually, what was the first? It was Paris Party Rentals? Is that what it originally?
Paris Party and Event Rentals. That just seems like a mouthful.
It does
so
seem like
Paris Party's a lot more fun.
Yeah, and it still says the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay. What's the overarching of all that offers?
Oh gosh, it's so much.
Because it's vast. I do feel like it's like there's so much that you can do. There's been several times that Lee and I are talking, and she'll say, Kacy offers that. I'm like, she does, and she's like, yeah. I was like, never. I wouldn't have thought that prior, but.
Our biggest thing is I want people to look at us as a service, whether it's a rental service where you're literally going to come get tables, chairs, and things from, or full service where we're going to plan all of the details of your event. But we never want our clients to feel like they're not going to be involved, even though we're planning it.
Okay.
We're just doing the majority of the legwork for them. And sometimes we're somewhere in between. Clients will want us to come decorate and break down for them, you know, not necessarily plan their event, but they want a little bit more than just coming to pick up vases and tablecloths.
So it's like, if it's a party, you do it.
Yeah.
Let's party.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Squirrel. What stage of life did you meet your husband?
I was 22-ish. 22, right? Yeah, 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did that happen?
We had a lot of mutual friends.
Okay.
So eventually some of our friends just pushed pretty hard for us to date. And I'm like, no, not interested. And I mean, here we are. I became pretty interested really quickly.
Now, did he chase and trying to chase you and try to get you to be interested?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Big time. So he was definitely interested.
Yes. I can't wait for him to watch this.
So is there a good story there?
No, I mean, but he chased me. I did not chase him. That was all
That needs
true.
to be clear.
Yeah, let me make that very clear. Yeah.
Awesome. So how did he propose?
We were in New Orleans with my family getting ready to get on a cruise ship to go on vacation.
Okay.
And it had been a pretty bad day. Just things kind of kept happening, losing luggage, this and that. And we go to Bourbon Street and we sit down for dinner, and the bad luck just kind of continues. All the electricity goes out on Bourbon Street. So everybody is, like going out of the restaurants. There's women of a certain profession who are on Bourbon Street with not a lot of clothes.
This is the best story ever.
Yeah. So we end up going back into the restaurant. We're like, we're going to tough it out. They have candlelight and everything in there. It's
That's romantic.
so hot. That's the only romantic element there. No.
They had candles, but it was hot, so it wasn't really romantic.
So for some reason, Drew chose that horrible.
So had he planned on doing it at that time?
No,
or was it just
I think he got really nervous, and we were just all there together, and he wanted to make the day better, I guess.
I get that.
And that's what happened in New Orleans. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Okay, so how long have y'all been married?
We have been married for 11 years.
11 years. Amazing.
Yeah.
And how many kids do y'all have?
3.
3.
Yes.
Now, I know one of them are actually friends with my oldest.
Mm-hmm. That's Addie.
And they did theater together?
Addie hasn't done theater. She would be great at it, though, I think.
Where did they connect? Were they in the same...
Just at school.
Were they in the same class together?
I think so. I think maybe in 2nd or 3rd grade.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I'm sorry. I should remember these things.
No, you shouldn't.
But I forget things like that often. I remember Liam coming home and talking about Addie a lot. I didn't put that 2 and 2 together until you brought her name up once when you were up here. But that's crazy how small towns work like that.
Absolutely. It feels like you kind of know everybody.
A little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I've heard a lot about Liam too.
Well, and we were talking about right before this podcast. Sorry, I'm squirreling again. We were talking right before this podcast with Leah about how we've known of each other for a really long time, but we can't, either of us put together that was the moment when we we shook hands or high-fived or...
We were kind of thrown into this relationship.
Yeah. But in that, we've actually came to where we're doing some work together, like we're collaborating, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, ditto. I'm super, super excited about all of our future things.
Mm-hmm. And we're doing more kind of like big... It's what you do, but it's kind of like a bigger scale almost. And actually, you told us the other day that that's kind of something you want to chase a little bit.
Absolutely. I love trying to put all the puzzle pieces together, and some of these events have a lot of puzzle pieces. So I love being the one that goes in there, looks for not necessarily problems, but holes, how to connect the dots, something that could be missed to set us up to succeed the day of, the weekend of.
Well, and these bigger events have so many moving parts. Like we were literally, the 3 of us were out in the middle of a street the other day, cars coming by.
Freezing.
Yeah, it was cold. It was very cold. And we were trying to decide like placement of things, and we're like, we could tape off this and we could do that. And we're looking for drainage gutters. And it's like there were so many random things that kind of almost are outside of our wheelhouse, but at the same time like falls into what we're doing,
right?
Which is really cool.
Yeah, it's really exciting, especially if you solve the problem ahead of time, or even if we solve the problem that day of. But if we can identify the problem before, solve it, even better.
And I think we did solve. I don't remember exactly which I'm thinking about, but I think we did solve a couple problems just by walking out in the middle of the street.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we did a lot.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of a great question to ask from here. I don't have. Do you have a question for me?
Sure. So you said Liam's the oldest out of your 3.
Yep.
What ages are your kids?
So I have Liam at 11, Emmy at 9, and Finn at 3.
Who's the craziest?
Emmett, hands down. Okay, so here's the deal. Liam is like his mom. He's organized. He thinks a lot like his mom. I see it all the time. Emmett, 100% me. I mean, he's wild. I know I said I was shy, but like as a kid, but there was definitely a wild side of like,
right.
Ooh. And then Finn 3, I don't know. I think he's gonna have a mixture of both of us, but he could swing either way at this point.
See, my kids are very different personalities. My oldest, Devin, he's 15. He is not very organized, but very smart, very dedicated. He's a very loyal kid. Addie is very organized. She's loyal, but she's a diva. And I do not know where that comes from because I do not think I'm a diva. Am I a diva?
I don't think you're a diva. I wouldn't categorize you as that.
So I don't know where she gets that from. And now Sam, he is a hot mess. Yeah, he's 7. He's a lot to handle sometimes.
No, okay, on that, I think a lot of times it skips a generation because I feel like sometimes I see their grandparents in them. I'm like, you're acting a lot like your grandpa right now.
That's what I'm going to blame Addie on. I'm going to say that she's acting like my mom.
See?
That's perfect. It's not me.
We solved a problem.
Yeah.
We figured out a solution.
She is going to they're all going to do great things, I feel like. But Addie, I hope that she does something with events.
Awesome.
Yeah, on a larger scale.
Liam is obsessed with like history. It's kind of like more so than and maybe I don't know every child on the planet, but more so than I feel like I've ever met in any other child. Like he loves the Titanic. I mean, obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But it goes further than that. Like he was researching the Fire of Notre Dame, the Hindenburg.
That's amazing.
He loves reading books about like historical figures and knowing what they did and how they. It's like really weird. His grandfather was a history teacher for 30 something years, and then I think he gets it from his grandfather. Again, I think it's some traits skip a generation.
I think that's really neat though, because you don't hear a lot of young children loving history. So,
but he wants to be. He said this for probably 5 or 6 years. He says he wants to be a singer on stage. What he's talking about is Broadway. So I'm like, I kind of want to champion that because I want him to be Broadway on Broadway.
Right.
Because I don't know if there is one. And so he should be the first.
Yes, absolutely. He should be the first.
But I don't know. It's hard at his age to champion theater in small town Paris, Texas.
That's true. That's true.
I try though.
I was a part of the local theater program for a long time here. Yes, with Jean Campbell. Do you know who that is?
And so I do know Jean Campbell. She didn't teach me swim lessons, but I know that she taught swim lessons forever.
That was my mentor on so many different levels.
And one of the things she taught was
that was me.
That was you?
I mean, how did I get what you were talking about from that man? I mean, are you talking about
synchronized swimming? Yes. I was drawing a blank for just a little bit.
What are you doing with your hands?
Because when you're under...
Do you know what the motion's called?
Do I know what it's called? No, I don't know what it's called. But I know I've seen it been done, and I've tried to do it.
It's called sculling.
Sculling?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to push and pull. That's great. Yeah, she was my mentor. I mean, that's why I teach swim lessons. I started working for her at a very young age.
How did we glide over you know how to synchronize swim?
How do I know?
How did we glide over that?
I don't know. You just started doing the flappy thing.
So you started with Jean Campbell when, like, how old?
I was probably Addie's age, so like around 11. Mm-hmm.
And did you go was it just swim lessons or did you go right into synchronized?
Oh, no. I feel like synchronized, well, yeah, it's probably right around the same time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was really cool.
Does height help you with that? Being taller? I don't know.
No, I don't think necessarily. No. You got good breath control.
You'll be upside down and the legs will be up and then you have to do the little
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
That's a lot of fun. Nose plugs.
Yeah. That was my thing is I always tried to do it, but I never put nose plugs in.
Oh, well, that's a very difficult.
Bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, she is an amazing woman. She taught me a lot.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Could you still do those moves if you had to?
Is there a pool closed?
So
should we go try?
So yes.
I don't know. It's been a while. However, like some of my advanced swim classes, I'll teach them some of those techniques because the whole sculling motion is very useful. Even just if you're working out in the pool, it's I don't know. It's kind of cool to know.
Nice to know, yeah.
So I can do some of the stuff, not near what I used to could.
There's not synchronized swimming now in Paris, right?
Not that
Jean
I've
doesn't
ever
do
heard
it anymore.
Of. No.
Yeah. She retired a while back.
Yes, she did. But she was in the water for a long time. Even at swim lessons, she wasn't afraid to get in the water and show somebody how to do it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Very, very knowledgeable woman.
Yeah, and I've met her a couple times. She probably wouldn't remember me, but I've met her a couple times at pools and stuff like that.
Oh, she's amazing.
And I knew that she was heavily involved in theater. But what all did she do? Because I'm not as aware of what she did.
You mean in the theater?
Yeah.
I know her just from directing plays, but
Okay.
I know that it was a lot more than that. And for me, my mom put me in theater to try to get me to open up and be better at public speaking, which obviously did not work. But
that's a lie.
No, it's not.
Because again, another topic we were just talking about before we sometimes I feel like I have a whole podcast before we start the podcast. We had to film you the other day for a project we were working on, and you got up and knocked it out. And you're like, I'm sorry, guys, I was so bad. But you really weren't that bad.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It felt horrible.
I do get anxiety. I do understand that.
Yeah.
But you need to know you were not that bad.
It's hard whenever you're representing somebody else, because you want to make sure that you represent them well, say the right things, and, do a good job for them.
I get that.
Yeah. I'm just representing myself right now.
So it's easier.
And Paris Party, which is, I feel like, easy to do because it's a everyday thing for us.
Yeah. And Paris. You're representing Paris.
Okay, I'll take that. Yeah.
You're part of like, I feel like you're part of the in crowd for, at least in my mind. Everybody has a different opinion, but I'm like, I feel like everybody knows that's the party girl right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about that, but I'll take it. Don't put too much pressure on me. I'm going to start stuttering.
Okay. I mean, I'm just telling the truth.
Okay. Well, I'll take it. Thank you.
Okay. So here's a question. In Paris Party, like, do you have any like future ideas or ventures or anything you care to?
I think it gets boring if you don't have some kind of growth planned. I never just want to,
Title.
No. I feel like us as a team, we're always looking for the next, or how to take our business to the next level, whether it be, a huge venture, small venture. So we have a lot of things, kind of planned. It's just what we do next.
Awesome.
Yeah. I have an amazing team there.
Okay. I was just fixing to talk on that because I mean, I've seen your team in action several times on several different projects as we worked on, but I got to see them really close on a banquet that we just did. I had to MC at it, and I'm on the board for the bank for the it's the Children's Advocacy Center. So we got to talk about you guys when you weren't there after it was done.
Oh.
But everybody raved about how great your team was and how much like they came in and they relieved a lot of stress that would normally just overwhelm the whole board and the whole staff. And just I remember we were there, and so we had a project that we were working on, and we came up and asked for random things, and they were just like, let me get that for you, got it right over here. And how much they were prepared for just about anything. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was either in a closet or on the truck, and they were ready.
We have to go in prepared like that because I feel like we're still learning going into events. We're not going to do everything perfect. We're going to strive to make sure our clients are happy and make sure, that they have as close to a carefree experience as they can. But we want to make sure we show up with the toolbox with all the tricks in it. We want to make sure that our customer service is 110%. But my team does not get enough credit for everything they do.
They were amazing. And you weren't even there at the time.
No.
When I was asking it, your team were just that way without you any oversight. My question is how hard was it building such an amazing team?
They're just amazing people.
You just found really good.
Yeah, I've been really, really lucky. I just found amazing people. It wasn't necessarily building a team. And we're more than that. We're definitely a work family. So it's a little bit different. We love each other on a different level too.
That's amazing.
Yeah. They're awesome.
Sorry, I keep getting phone calls.
Are you right-clicking them?
I'm right-clicking them. I usually try to put my phone, I'm bad about this. I usually try to put my phone away from me so that I'm not having to deal with it.
I did that.
I didn't. I did that last podcast, but I didn't do it this podcast.
I should have brought it over here so you could answer balloon orders and all of that during the podcast. That would have been cool. Would you have known what questions to ask?
No, I would not have known. I don't know anything about balloon orders. Okay, so you told me, I'm going to bring this up. So you're an animal lover.
Yeah.
You have several dogs?
I do. Yeah.
How many dogs do you have?
Just 3.
Just
Yeah, we just got a new puppy. Addie is really the animal lover.
Okay.
She's the dog mom. I love animals, don't get me wrong, but Addie and Drew, they take care of all the animals, all the vet appointments and all the things. But yeah.
What are your dogs?
Like what type of dogs?
Yeah, what type of dogs?
Our new puppy is a mini Aussie.
Okay.
Chief.
Awesome.
So cute.
Awesome.
He does not like to snuggle. And I thought we bought him to snuggle him. And that's not what he wants to do. He's only 8 weeks old. Then we have a blue heeler, Maverick. He's crazy. Like jump in your car, run away sometimes. He's a lot to handle. A lot of people don't like him. And then Tito is, he's just is there another name for a mutt? Because I don't like to say mutt because Tito is so cute. But he's our old grouchy dog who just, whenever you walk up to him, he's going to roll over and expect you to scratch his belly.
Oh.
Yeah. But we live out in the country, so we have to worry about coyotes all the time and all the things out there.
I have a story there. So we were out at one of your neighbors shooting a video.
Oh, yeah.
In the field. And it was by a pond, and a random dog.
Yep.
Came.
That's my dog. Sorry. That's Maverick.
I'm pretty sure was all up in all the businesses.
Yeah, that's Mav. I'm so sorry.
And I don't know that until right now I put 2 and 2 that was your dog.
Yeah, that's the blue heeler, Maverick. He's a lot. Yeah.
We have one dog. So I don't know, about a year ago or so, we started talking about a dog, and I was like, man, I really hate that. I don't want our kids to grow up and not have had the experience of having a pet.
Right, sure.
So I wanted something cute and cuddly that reminds me of Chewbacca. That's what I wanted. But we also wanted to do a rescue, so that wasn't readily available, and we weren't ready to wait until the perfect Chewbacca dog was readily available. So we got Birdie Rose. She's like half Boston Terrier, half, we think, wiener dog. But there's a few other ideas in there too. But, okay, do any of your dogs get zoomies?
What are the zoomies?
So the zoomies are when...
Oh, where they're,
They just... And they just run most of the time in circles.
I wish that they did. I think that'd be really cute to watch. Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
Not in my opinion, because Birdie Rose... will, and it's like 30 minutes. We'll just, it's cute the first time, but you're trying to watch a show with your wife, and it's like, what are you doing?
Sweet.
She does get cute and cuddly. It's usually after she runs herself.
That's hilarious, though. I think it'd be cute to watch.
Okay, I have a video. We can watch it after this.
I'd love to. Yeah. Put a face to this name.
Yeah, and she is cute.
No.
When she's tired.
It's like my kids. I love it. Just kidding.
It's awesome. Okay, I think I'm out of questions.
That's it? This is easy then.
It was easy. Okay. Did I miss anything? Was there a big story in there?
I think we covered it all. Yeah.
Usually we have more job transitions.
No, I kind of started this at a young age and still here.
But that's also amazing. So how many years have you been doing it? Sorry, I didn't mean to jump back into it.
No, well, I mean, Celebrate it was 2003. So, okay. I mean, since my senior year in high school is when it all started. So a long time. If I tell you how many years, that means I'm going to tell you how old I am.
That's okay.
And I've already given you enough information.
I wasn't looking for how old you are. I was more of looking for the direction of like, okay, I've been doing this for this many years. Right. So if you want to trust somebody with your party, like I've got blank amount of years behind me. So we'll just say a lot.
There we go.
I've got a lot of years behind me.
So. Almost 20. Almost 20. That sounds wonderful to say and scary to say because that means I'm getting on up there.
No. I don't think so. Well, Leah calls me old all the time, but...
Does she really?
Yes, she's really mean about it too. It's okay. My wife also calls me old. I normally can talk about my wife because she doesn't listen to my podcast.
You can't today.
I can't today because she's sitting right over there.
I've seen several expressions. I don't know how well this has gone for you.
Should I look or should I not look?
Don't look. For sure. Do not look our way. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
It wasn't
for
that hard,
me.
was it?
No, this was easy.
It was super easy.
Absolutely. Hope I get to do it again.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we can talk about that. I have a few ideas.
Oh, great.
It might be in the future, but we could talk about that.
Okay. I'd love to. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.